What's good, family? Chris here, and I want to welcome you guys to the Motivation Comes from Purpose Chapter 1. So, what I've decided to do was break down a few milestones that I've had in my life and break down how I stayed motivated, what I focused on to help get me through to achieving my goals or getting close to achieving to my goals. So, in Chapter 1, I'm going over the fitness lifestyle, how I started, what I got into it, what my goals were, what I wanted to get from it, and what I've done to help myself achieve those goals and get closer to it. So, what my goal was when it came to fitness, this was in 2009, and the main objective and goal I had was to get my face and my body onto the cover of a fitness magazine, be it Men's Health, Muscle and Fitness, any which one. That was the goal. At the same time, I also wanted to be known as one of the strongest powerlifters at the same time, because at the time, either you did fitness or you did strength training. Very few guys crossed over into both realms. So my goal was like, all right, I want to be the best at one and be the best at the other. So why not combine them both and be the first person to manage that? So what exactly did I do to get to working towards that goal? So first things first, you do this little thing called research. I looked into everything in terms of health and fitness, learned how to become a personal trainer, to be able to get a better understanding of the systems, got myself a coach. So when it came to fitness and doing fitness competitions such as fitness modeling or bodybuilding, as the most common, more popular term would be, you need someone to coach you through it, like to teach you how to pose, get the right food to eat, how to pose best for your particular body type. Because whether you're tall, short, or in my case, I'm 5'6", but I have very long arms with a 6'2" wingspan. So a certain pose that I would not be able to do because it would make me look smaller than I am with my long arms. So a coach being there helps you position yourself to show off your best assets and to hide your defaults. So the other thing now, on the other side, it came to powerlifting. My goal was to become one of the strongest person pound for pound in powerlifting. At the time, in Quebec, the province that I'm living in, it was still a growing sport. It's not as big as it was now. So for my age category, I was a junior at the time, so below the age of 24. I had the provincial record for the heaviest deadlift. So I weighed about 155, and I was able to deadlift 501 pounds off the ground, both in conventional or in sumo. Really came down to what I felt like doing that day. And for those of you that know, most will either pick one particular version of the deadlift and excel in that. I was able to do both. Badass like that. This guy right here. So the third question is, how do I execute? So the way I executed when it came to fitness modeling and bodybuilding was I get the plan from my coach, with a nutrition plan, a fitness training plan, and practice my posing, and I'll just focus on that the entire time. You told me train this day of the week, do this, eat this and that. I listened and just executed, no questions asked. Now when it came to powerlifting, I didn't quite have a coach for powerlifting. I pretty much did the research and homework myself. Probably would have saved some time if I was able to find a coach, but at the time in the early 2012s, internet and online coaching wasn't that big of a thing. So you kind of had to sift through a bunch of information and find out the information yourself to figure out what worked best. And I can say the big challenging thing for those that know the sport of powerlifting, there's kind of two versions of sports. There's the raw lifting and then there's the geared lifting. Gear doesn't mean drugs. It just means they put an outfit on, like a denim outfit. So it's labeled, could be considered a suit. And I did raw lifting, but a lot of the information at the time came from guys that wore suits, so a denim suit or a canvas suit to help them in their lift. So it's a very similar looking sport, the exact same lifts, but the fact you're wearing your suit, the numbers of weight that you would lift drastically increases, and the technique of how you squat and perform exercise will be completely different. So at the time, the information was coming out from those that were in that particular category. So my lifting technique at the time wasn't as optimal as it would be potentially now with more information out. But regardless, I took the plan, followed it, executed to the T like it was a Bible, no questions asked. So that's what comes down when it came to execution. So this is my favorite one, is the level of obsession. So when we're talking about obsession, it was all I would think about. This was a world before Instagram, so I bought the fitness magazines. I'd follow people on Facebook, I'd follow people on Twitter, and I didn't have my own Facebook page, my own Twitter page, and posting videos constantly, showing the progress I'm making. Putting up different exercise videos is what I thought everybody had to do. I'll see if I could have, actually, if you look back into this old channel, see the old videos of me doing exercise and training for, I think at the time I had it was called CL training for Chris Latham training, and then transitioned to MBS athletics training. For MBS stood for mind, body, and soul. So when I was obsessed, it was all I would think about, all I would focus on, and all I would do, breathe, eat, and sleep, getting the body ready to stand on stage, be able to get ideally a trophy, or the main goal as it was to get into a magazine. And when it came to powerlifting, the obsession was pretty much as parallel. And I'd find motivation by watching videos online from YouTube. This was before I think 1080p was a big thing, so the videos were quite granular and grainy. A lot of cassette tapes being converted to the online format. But it was great seeing different people of different heights, shapes, bodies, and ages excel. And it's a type of sport where you only get better as you age because you got to put time in under the bar and get more experience and let your body solidify and get stronger and get more of that experience through movement. So when it came to being obsessed with that, all I would focus on was adding more weight to the bar week by week, but also taking the time to kind of deload and take some time off so the body can help recover for that new added stress I put onto the body. Because you can't just keep doing this in life. You're going to have moments you got to get down and go back up, but either way, you still want to excel and go up and push forward. So why the end of those particular goals or choices? So when it came to fitness, I somewhat achieved my goal of getting to a magazine. I didn't quite make it on the cover, but I did make it inside a magazine, Fitness Quebec magazine. I think I have a post or a link. I'll put a photo up somewhere here. And so I got that goal. And one of the reasons I stopped was that I was talking to my coach. I'm like, my big goal is to be able to make it to the magazine, be cover of a magazine. He's like, look, Chris, I'll be honest with you. Male models, so like 2012, before Instagram blew up and everybody had a Facebook and everybody was considered a model. But he goes, male fitness models get about $300 for a magazine cover. I'm like, $300? I'm like, yeah, girls get about $1,000, $1,200. It's like, hold up, I'm gonna bust my ass for a $300 job just to get on the magazine just to say I did that. So I'm like, you know what? It's really not worth it. And like, yes, the joy of the transformation and seeing the progress of the time you put in, seeing that change, the community, the people that were in that were all going through the same similar hustle, daily grind, while maintaining an everyday life or a day to 9 to 5 job, whatever the case may be. Super amazing culture, super supportive. But when I looked at the end, I'm like, for the goal I want, it wasn't worth that time putting in. So I decided, you know what? It's not my thing. I'm going to focus on something else. Now, when it came to powerlifting, that was just more like a rude awakening. It was the year I went from junior to open. So junior open, you go from, once you hit the age of 24, you're down in the big boy leagues. Like you're dealing with guys that are 30, 35 years old, who've been lifting longer than I've been alive, and I'm competing against these guys. And I have to sit down with myself and give myself a real heart to heart and tell myself, like, all right, Chris, for the goal you want to achieve, are you willing to dedicate the next 10, 15, 20 years of your life going day in, day out, progressing and doing these particular same 3 lifts over and over again to get to this goal? It was a tough decision. I'm like, you know what? I am not that dedicated to this particular goal. Like, I do not want to sacrifice all my time, because it was like 2-3 hours spent in the gym per training session. It wasn't 2-3 hours of lifting. Some of it was rolling, stretching, prepping, warming up. Then you got to cool down afterwards, stretch afterwards. A lot of prep time. Then you got to make sure you get the food coming in. It was a lot of things that didn't leave that much flexibility for an explorative lifestyle that I wanted to have. So I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to come to a stop. This is it. This is as far as I'm going with this journey. I'm going to move on to other things. Now, regrets. Do I have any regrets in any of this? Hell no. All of these were learning experiences. So from the fitness, it taught me what it meant to be dedicated, stick to a plan, stick to a goal, follow things to the end and see what happened with them. For fitness, it explained to me that you get better the more time you put in, the better you get at anything. There's no shortcuts. You can't rush down to the end of the line. You got to put that work in time and time, day in, day out. So these are all lessons I'm able to carry with me now in life. Sure, from time to time I may forget some of these lessons, but as humans you hope that the lessons you learn when the time comes for you to need them, you're able to tap into them and make use of those lessons you've learned to then help you excel in future endeavors. So that is the end of chapter 1 of Motivation Comes from Purpose. And that is pretty much in a nutshell. I don't want to make this video too long. My story of my fitness and competitive journey in terms of the fitness world. So next week, I'll be talking in chapter 2. I'll be going over my journey as a coach. So stay tuned for that next week, guys. In the meantime, as everybody says, click like, subscribe, click the notification bell button, the whole 9. You know the drill. Peace out, family.